Okay, we are going to go ahead and get started. Good morning, everyone. I'm Shelby Thomas, and welcome to Florida Agribility's first quarterly webinar of the year, Removing Barriers, Building Hives, Empowering Beekeepers of All Abilities. Florida Agribility is a partnership between the University of Florida IFAS Extension and the Center for Independent Living of North Central Florida. Agribility is a program sponsored by the U.S. Department of Agriculture that aids farmers, ranchers, and other agricultural workers and farm family members living with a disability. The main objective of Florida Agribility is to assist farmers in overcoming barriers caused by disabilities and health conditions to continue farming. I have just a few housekeeping items for you all today. This webinar is being recorded and will be available on our website for later viewing. Throughout the duration of the webinar, please attempt to keep yourself muted and feel free to drop your comments or questions in the chat, and we'll be sure to read them at the end of the webinar. So let's dive in. I would like to introduce Justin Sims today. Justin is a nonprofit founder, app developer, and accessibility advocate dedicated to making beekeeping inclusive for people of all abilities. As a disabled beekeeper, Justin brings lived experience to his work using innovation and education to remove barriers and expand access within the beekeeping community. Through writing and educational outreach, Justin shares knowledge across all ages and experience levels with a strong focus on accessibility and adaptive practices. His work led to the creation of Bee My Hive Inspector, a mobile application currently in beta testing that uses artificial intelligence to assist new and visually impaired beekeepers during hive inspections. The app is designed to support independence, confidence, and success in the apiary. Justin also leads Accessible Beekeeping, a 501(c)(3) charitable program focused on educating disabled beekeepers and developing accessible tools and training opportunities. The organization is working toward establishing accessible training apiaries in every state, each designed with the equipment, layout, and accommodations needed to teach beekeeping to individuals with diverse disabilities. Justin, thank you so much for being here today. The floor is yours. Take it away.
Thank you for that awesome introduction, Shelby. I appreciate it. Sarap got herself a good host. But my name, like Shelby said, is Justin. I have been doing nonprofit work since about 2021 when Accessible Beekeeping was started. I had originally started it as a way because I had written a book on I've written children's books about beekeeping, and my first plan was to do a nonprofit that put hives in schools and teaching people about how they could teach the kids about bees. Sorry, and then the red tape and everything with that was too much, so I decided to focus my efforts on accessible beekeeping and how I was able to modify the way that things were done so that I could be a beekeeper after my TBI and car accident in 2015. Let me see. Okay. So just before I start, I want to acknowledge the Southern SARE Sustainable Agricultural Research and Education Program. This work is funded by their SARE grant for PDP, which is professional development, and also funded by the USDA. So some of the topics that we are going to cover today are introduction to accessible beekeeping, current beekeeping assistive technology, and then how you can assess a person's limitations, and then suggesting some adaptations to those limitations. So you can utilize this to either help somebody else that is struggling with beekeeping, or also yourself as well if you see that you are having some of these limitations and utilize these adaptations. So one of the things that we're going to talk to about in accessible beekeeping is the key aspects, the history, evolution, history of the accessible beekeeping, and then history of humans and honeybees. So key aspects of beekeeping, just in case you guys are not part of the beekeeping, culture, is obviously pollination services. So honeybees contribute significantly to crop production, ensuring higher yields and biodiversity. They're also very utilized for honey and beeswax production, and beekeepers harvest these valuable resources for food, cosmetics, and medicinal uses. And then also colony management. You want to maintain healthy colonies, which requires knowledge of bee behavior, environmental factors, and then how can we prevent diseases. Sorry. So history of beekeeping, prehistoric beginnings. We had early depictions of honey gathering found in prehistoric rock art in Spain. Moving to ancient Egypt, Egyptians documented beekeeping in stone paintings and hieroglyphs, used cylindrical clay hives and early honey collection techniques. Once the Greek and Romans got involved, it was introducing a woven basket, hives coated with clay for better insulation. So it was a step up from the ancient Egypt way of beekeeping. And then medieval Europe, popularized skep hives made of woven straws, required colony destruction, which means the entire hive had to be damaged in order for them to get any of the honey. So just as a kind of follow up, it went from cylindrical clay hives to woven basket hives to the skep hives. In 1851, Langstroth came on and said, "Hey, this is the better way to do it. He studied bees and honeybees and found that there was a certain space called bee space that they would actually utilize and they wouldn't propolize if that space was followed. And propolis is the sticky substance that they use to seal off their entire hive. And then in 1910 was the first time that the Slovenian AZ hive was created. And then it moved on further to top bar hives and flow hives. So some of the modern innovations that we've done is hive systems have been developed. Ergonomic tools and hive lifters have been created, and then instead of manual honey extractors, they've moved to electric. So some of the history of actually accessible beekeeping and some of the things that I found that was cool and thought that you might be interested in is Francis Hubert and the beekeeping as a vocation for disabled veterans of World War One. So what's really cool about Francis Hubert is he was actually blind. So there's all these instances in history of people that are beekeepers and things that they've done and research they've done that have gotten us to where beekeeping is today. But one of the most prominent was Francois Hubert was a Swiss naturalist and beekeeper, but he was also blind. And he developed what was known as the leaf hive, which was kind of like the grandfather to our current observation hive. And the way that he did his inspections was that he relied on his wife and his assistant, Francois Bernens, to document any observations that they saw. What discoveries did Francis Hubert make? He discovered the role of the queen, swarming patterns, hive organization, and that the queen does not actually mate within the hive. Beekeeping as a vocation for disabled veterans of World War One. It was introduced as a vocational rehab program for disabled veterans. Returning injured soldiers found beekeeping to be therapeutic and economically viable. They trained veterans in hive management, honey production, and pollination services. And then they set the foundation for the recognition of beekeeping as an accessible trade for individuals with disabilities. So this was the first time that the United States has actually said, hey, what we're going to do is we're going to take this trade and we're going to teach people that have limitations so that they can provide for themselves. And the reason that honey and wax was really important during World War One is when sugar was being rationed, honey was the replacement. And then when you went overseas and it was wet, it was wax that was used to prevent the tanks from rusting. So just kind of a quick overview of history. Early humans engaged in hive hunting, so they went and found hives in the wild. Egyptians considered honey as a sacred substance, so they used it for food, medicine, and religious offerings. In Greek mythology, honey is known as ambrosia or the food of the gods. And then knowledge of honeybees has advanced exponentially in modern times through research done at places like the University of Florida. So an overview of advances that have been made in accessible hive system is the Slovenian AZ hive. It was designed for ease of access. So rather than taking a box off like you do with Langstroth, you actually open up the back of a hive and pull each frame out like you're taking a book out of a bookshelf. The long Langstroth, reduced heavy lifting by placing hives horizontally rather than vertically. So if you think about Langstroth, it's one box and then another box on top and then another box on top. The long Lang said instead of stacking boxes, we're just going to make it wider. Um, and then assistive technology, things have come up like hive listers, ergonomic protective gear, voice activated recording tools, things like that. So some of the current beekeeping assistive technology that we're going to discuss today is hive bodies, hive suitability, apiary design, things like that. So some of the examples again is hive lifters, voice activated record keeping systems, adaptive hive tools, motorized honey extractors, flow hives, and honey extraction aids. And there is a very much need for development of new accessible aids in beekeeping. Um, some of the accessible hive bodies is Langstroth, Slovenian AZ, Long Lane, Top Bar, and Flow Hive. So the pros of Langstroth is it is a standardized equipment and widely available. It's easy to expand by adding more boxes and frames the bee space that Langstroth did with the frames prevents excessive cross combing. However, it does require heavy lifting, stacking, and unstacking the boxes because a full 10 frame deep box can be anywhere between 80 to 100 pounds. And then it does require regular inspections to prevent swarming and running out of space. The Langstroth hive is best for beekeepers with mild mobility issues or mild back pain who can still lift weights but need a structured and standardized hive system. These hive systems are physically demanding but produce a lot of honey and other byproducts that beekeepers can utilize, which is why it is very popular in commercial. The Slovenian AZ has no heavy lifting. You access the frames from the back. It's great for indoor or shed-based beekeeping. It's protected from harsh weather due to enclosed design. Some of the cons is there's less ventilation, so you have to manage the colony a little more, and then it's more difficult to find in certain markets. And then another con that I forgot to put here is the traditional AZ hive. The frame size is not the same as Langstroth, so using some of the honey extractors was not possible without some kind of adaptation. There is a company that is US based in Virginia that actually went over to Slovenia, worked with a manufacturer there to build the hive at the same dimensions as Langstroth, and then that could be utilized with current extractors that we have. So what does the AZ hive good for? It's good for beekeepers with limited mobility, wheelchair users, or individuals with chronic back pain, as it allows inspections without bending or lifting. Long Lang, there's no heavy lifting of boxes. It uses standard Langstroth frames for easy compatibility. It provides easy access to all frames without disassembling the hive at all. It requires more ground space, and expansion is limited compared to stacked hives. So stacked Langstroth, you can keep adding boxes until you are done. With long laying, you are capped with the number of frames, so you do have to do some more frequent inspections to be able to remove fully capped honey frames and continue to cycle them. What is this best for? Beekeepers with limited upper body strength, arthritis, or joint pain, as it eliminates the need to lift heavy boxes. Similar to the long laying, the top bar is wide as well. It has minimal equipment required. There's no need for pre-made frames because it's just using a strip of wood. It promotes natural cone building behavior, reduces back strain as there's no heavy lifting. However, due to it not having a set frame, there is some cross combing, and then it produces less honey, and it is harder. You have to be more careful because if it is new comb, the new comb is soft. If you take the bar up like this and you turn it and it's new comb, the new comb will fall off the bar. So you have to manage being able to just lift it straight up. If it's older comb that has dried and been there for a while, you'll be able to actually like turn it just like you would the frame. This is good for beekeepers with limited grip strength, arthritis, joint pain, as there's no heavy supers to lift, and you can modify the bars to do things like add handles and things like that. One of the most controversial additions to the beekeeping world in recent years is the flow hive. The pros obviously are minimal disruption to the bees when harvesting honey. It's efficient and time-saving honey extraction. It's good for beginners. It's more expensive than traditional hives as a con, and then the plastic components may degrade over time. One thing you have to remember with flow hive is that it does not replace the need for knowledgeable inspections and consistent inspections. You know, some people, one of the biggest issues was people were saying they were just putting the bees out there, going in, not going into the brood box, which is the bottom two box where the queen lays the eggs, and they were just putting the super on there, getting the honey, and not ever managing the hive itself. So what is this best for? Beekeepers with hand tremors, arthritis, or mobility limitation, as it allows for honey extraction with minimal effort. So to talk about hive sustainability, you can, this slide will be available to you guys after the talk, but it kind of goes through the hive type, if it's best, or whether it's best for hobbyist, sideliner, or commercial. Hobbyists, what you could say would be somewhere between 0 to 5 hives. Sideliner could be somewhere from 5 to like 25, and then commercial would be 25 or more. So you can see that, you know, the best choice for a hobbyist and a disabled hobbyist is pretty much any of the hives here that you could do. If you're trying to do a commercial outfit, you know, the only one that is actually practical for a commercial would be Langstroth. So that might mean you need to look more into adaptations and aids like hive lifters and things like that. And so, you know, when they send this out to you afterwards, you can go through and look at this chart and see more of it. So just as an overview, you know, each hive type is better suited for different levels of beekeeping. Best for hobbyists, Langstroth, Sylvania, long laying, top bar, flow hive. So basically all of them can work. But the sideliners, you know, Langstroth, some may use flow hive or long laying, but they're less common because sideliners have a larger apiary and long layings, and some of these other hives are not possible to move them around as easy as it is. And then obviously for commercial beekeeping, Langstroth is the industry standard. So let's talk about your apiary design. When you go to think about designing your apiary, you have to think about whether you yourself have the limitation, or if you are going to eventually want somebody to come out who might have one. Location is always important. You want to make sure it's flat and stable terrain, um, sheltered if you can, easy access to water source. So how do you place the hives? You put them on raised hive stands. Utilize side opening hives like Slovenian AZ. If you are planning on doing this into your older age or have anybody that might, be using a wheelchair, you want to make sure that the pathways between the hives are wide enough so that somebody with balance issues or walking can navigate through the hives without, toppling them over. And then you can utilize things like hive labels and markings and things like that. If you are already disabled and have a limitation, you know the seriousness of being prepared in any situation. So, if you're going to do these hives, and most apiaries are out in a rural area, so you want to make sure you have an emergency contact system. If you have issues with EpiPens and allergies, you want to make sure you have that, and then make sure you have an accessible workstation like a table or something that's raised off the ground that you can set things on, and especially if you do decide to go like Langstroth where you might have to carry or lift the box. So if you're doing remote, make sure you have EpiPens, antihistamines, pain relievers, CPR masks. If you're wearing, even if you're wearing full gear, you might still have to deal with bee stings. So, you might want to have hive tools, ice packs, baking soda, antihistamine gel. Make sure you have injury and wound care, especially if it's somebody with balance issues, because you never know when they might fall or scrape up against something. So, have your bandages, Neosporin, etc. Um, Beekeeping is done in the hottest parts of the year, so you want to make sure you have cooling towels, electrolytes, emergency blankets, especially dealing with some people with disabilities who don't spend a lot of time outside. You never know how the um, the heat will affect them until they're actually out there. So you want to think about that kind of stuff, and then make sure you have fully charged cell phone, ways to call for help. If you're working with anyone else, if it's anaphylaxis, call 911, use the EpiPen. If it's a fall or injury, assess the injury. If it is something that you need to, if you can move them, then move them. If not, don't, call 911. If it is heat exhaustion, move to shade, hydrate with electrolytes, use a cooling towel. Definitely seek help if you start to experience some of things like confusion, vomiting, dizziness. Some of the things that you can do to prevent risk is use the buddy system, protective clothing and gear, modify apiary for safety, and then keep emergency contacts handy and updated for every person that is there. Um, so you guys can go back to this. It's just another quick checklist for you guys when they send it to you. I'm going to continue moving forward. Some of the current availability of accessibility in the beekeeping community is Agribility, online beekeeping communities, some nonprofits, grants. The current issue is that there is limited resources for accessible beekeeping, and up until recently, the majority of nonprofits were focused on veterans due to the way the grant structure was. So the purpose of accessible beekeeping was actually to do the general public and as well as veterans, not limited to a certain set. Um, Challenges in accessibility, limited availability of adaptive equipment, partially due to just limitations and not enough design. It's hard to bundle one size fits all when it comes to the multitude of limitations in the world. Lack of awareness. Some people just don't even know that it exists. And then the last and most prominent one is financial barriers. Anybody that has a disability or limitation knows that the solution is usually way more expensive than it should be. So, we work with universities to try to develop cheaper, do it yourself type of things that can help utilize and offset some of those financial barriers. Future improvements for inclusive beekeeping, increased collaboration with disability advocacy groups, collaboration with university students to develop these solutions. As this talk does, increases education in accessible beekeeping, and then the integration of technology and other aids. An example of this is the Bee My Hive Inspector application in development right now by myself and Accessible Beekeeping. And it was built originally to aid a blind beekeeper in California. And what she was doing was going out and taking pictures with her with voiceover and Siri, sending them to a beekeeper that could see, getting and the beekeeper would say, "This is what I see," and she would also do things like she couldn't use gloves because it took away one of her most important senses, which was touch. So she would rub her hands over the comb and feel like the different raised for the different type of brood. So we developed this that uses your phone. It is currently in beta, but I am rewriting the way that it acts and works. So you guys will be getting the first kind of view of what it looks like now, and will be released hopefully in the next month or two. So over to the left is an example of when you upload a video, it actually, uses artificial intelligence to detect to detect what's in the picture. So you can see kind of what the application allows you to do as either a new beekeeper or somebody that is visually impaired to continue doing that. So I've never personally seen a queen laying eggs in real life. So I was very excited when one of the beekeepers sent me this video, and I was able to use the AI to, practice tracking through the video. So that was really cool. And then to point that, which is going to be part of the next video that I show you on the next screen, you can see that at the bottom, it does note that there's another queen there. This is not a perfect AI model. It utilizes you guys, the public, to help build out the model. The more pictures that are submitted and I can add to the training, the better the detections will be. So part of why I rebuilt the application was so that the public could help, make the application better itself. So what will be released is the Be My Hive Inspector app. I'm building it so that it can be a Windows application, a Mac OS, a Mac application, iPhone, or Android. So here's the load image. So you can load the image, um, run the analysis. It will tell you what's in there. You'll also be able to export that image like I did the video on the previous screen. The next part is video analysis. So you can pick your video, process the video, and it will go through and process the video by frame. And then once the video is done being processed, you'll be able to either export it like I did in the last one with the boxes on it, or you can go to view playback, and then you'll be able to view the playback in real time of what the application actually picked up. So you can see on the detection summary on the left-hand side that it says, there was 110 queens, that's how many times it picked up the queens, not actually 110 queens, so I need to fix that. But then you can go and play it and see the analysis. And then from this screen, you'll be able to actually, export the video and, you know, move on and be able to share it with your friends and stuff and Facebook and social media. Um, and then the last thing that I wanted to show was actually annotating images. So this is how you guys would be able to upload a photo in case you put one in there and it didn't pick what you wanted to pick. You'd be able to draw the box around it, select what it is, and then save it, and then submit it, and then it will actually send it to a website that I've created that will allow you to will allow me to accept it or reject it. So I'm going to make sure that there's some good data that's coming through. And then I will add that to the training of the model, which will allow you to do things like the model management down at the bottom and actually get the most recent one from the server rather than having to push a new update every time. So I have, I think, about 30 minutes left, so we'll go into actually assessing a person's limitations and then some of the adaptations that we can incorporate. Step one is identify physical and cognitive limitations. You need to identify what could cause them to yourself, as being self-aware, what could cause you to have an issue, fulfilling your inspection. Step two, you want to match the adaptations to whatever your limitation is. And then step three, you want to test and adjust those adaptations over time until they match exactly what you need. So identifying physical limitations, here's some of key things you can look at. Mobility. Can the individual or yourself move freely around the apiary? Are you able to stand, kneel, reach hives? Strength and endurance. Can they lift and manipulate the hive components, or do you require assistance? Do you have dexterity? Do you have sufficient hand function to utilize beekeeping tools and manage those hive inspections? Sensory processing. And this is important because some people will say, hey, I have no problems with loud noises or chaotic environments. And they get into a hive that might be a little more aggressive because of the weather or something going on in the hive. So are they sensitive to touch, sounds, unexpected environmental stimuli? And then, cognitive function. Can you follow a structured beekeeping routine and make hive management decisions? And then every time you go into hive to do an inspection, it will be unique. So can you adapt, and make a new plan based, or are you and make a new plan in the situation? Step two, matching adaptations to specific needs. For mobility, you can use horizontal hives to eliminate the need for lifting heavy supers. Install raised hive stands to allow access from a seated position. Make sure you create wheelchair accessible apiary paths using compacted gravel or pavers, and then utilize mechanical hive lifters to move heavy boxes. Strength and endurance, use lighter components such as a medium or shallow box instead of a deep box. Work in short time intervals, take breaks between tasks, conserve your energy. If you're a hobbyist, have 5 hives. Don't think you have to do all 5 in one weekend. You can spread it out over 2 or 3 hives one week, or one hive every week, depending on what your capabilities are. Partner with a beekeeping assistant to share knowledge and responsibility. And then you can utilize things such as 8 frame or 10 frame equipment for easier management of these hive bodies. Looking at dexterity, select ergonomic tools with larger cushion grips, use frame grips, utilize, electric honey extractors to minimize manual labor. Matching adaptations for physical or visual, you can do tactile markers and hive components. Use voice recording apps to document hive inspections. Work with a sighted beekeeping assistant to verify hive health and queen activity. So there are ways for you as with visual impairment to still, enjoy beekeeping. Cognitive, implement structured beekeeping checklists so that you know exactly what step to do as you're moving through. Utilize digital reminders such as Siri and to-do list and mobile apps to track hive tasks and feeding schedules. Reduce sensory overload by using, noise canceling earmuffs and soft gloves to minimize excessive touch and feels. So how do you test and adjust these adaptations? Assessing adaptations is essential to continued success. If problems persist, you can consult professionals such as occupational therapists or assistive technology professionals. Adjustments should be made based on ease of use. Does the modification reduce physical strain or improve efficiency? Safety, does the adaptation lower the risk of injury, bee stings, or equipment mishandling? How effective is it? Does it help the individual perform the necessary beekeeping tasks with greater independence? And then environmental considerations, does the modification work well in different weather conditions, seasonal changes, etc. So these are some of the examples. So, if the problem is lifting heavy hives, you can use horizontal hives. If the problem is maneuvering around an apiary with uneven terrain, establish an apiary with wide flat paths, keep hives at an ergonomic height for wheelchair or from working it from a bench. If it is limited ability to move quickly in case of bee agitation, make sure you wear extra protective gear, use a bee jacket to prevent overheating that's ventilated, and work in hive during cooler hours when bees are calmer. For a visual, if it's difficult identifying brood patterns, queens, or disease, use high contrast hive markings, voice activated inspection apps, and list the beekeeping partner. If it's increased risk of accidental contact, implement haptic guides on hive components such as raised markers or textured handles. Wear gloves that reinforce sensory feedback rather than diminish it. An ability to read traditional beekeeping logs, use audio recording devices or, braille-based note-taking systems to track what you did this time and what you might need to do next time. Anytime you have an issue with one of your senses, it makes any task that much more difficult. So even having hearing loss as a beekeeper can cause things such as an ability to hear hive sounds that can indicate queen presence or swarming activity, agitation. So, utilize visual hive monitoring technology. You can get things such as vibration sensors or smart hive apps that provide real-time notifications. If it's difficulty communicating with other beekeepers, you can use notepads, whiteboards, text-to-speech applications to facilitate communication. When it comes to cognitive, if it's difficulty maintaining a consistent beekeeping routine, use those apps, automated calendars, or, another mentor. If it's sensory overload from buzzing, smoke, or handling sticky honeycomb, uses noise canceling earmuffs, wear non-latex gloves, and work in shorter time intervals with more planned breaks. One of the things that you can do when you are working with a Langstroth hive is if you have to stop. One of the things that aggravates the bees is light, so you can take a towel and place it over the hive, which will block some of that light out and some of that wind, and it will give you a little bit more time to relax and take a break when you need it. If it's forgetting hive management tasks, such as feeding or pest control, implement digital tracking apps, notifications, or keeping a structured checklist, some of those things that you can do. If it's chronic pain, fatigue, and autoimmune disorders, If it's limited endurance for hive inspections, use lightweight tools, schedule tasks in short increments, and work with a beekeeping partner to share responsibilities. If the lifting causes you pain and fatigue, use hive stands to reduce bending, install mechanical lifts, or transition to hives that minimize lifting requirements. The other thing you could do is they have a thing called transfer boxes. And you take an empty box out there, and instead of lifting all 8 frames at once, you take one frame at a time and put it in an empty box. And then you take that box that you just removed from out, and then now you've gotten through an entire box, been able to look, see if the queen is there, look at your honey, and you've only lifted one frame that's 8 pounds rather than a whole box that's 80. If you have an issue with sensitivity to environmental conditions, work during core hours, wear temperature regulating clothing, and ensure that you have access to a shaded area such as some trees or and water and stuff like that. As I know, as I'm getting older, I have difficulty gripping things, so I use ergonomic hive tools on frame grips, adaptive gloves that provide wrist support. If it's difficulty controlling hand tremors with handling bees, use weighted gloves, stabilize hands against the hive structures when working, and take breaks to minimize that fatigue. Pain when performing repetitive tasks. So if you invest in automatic hive lifters, powered honey extractors, and tools designed to reduce manual labor, then it doesn't take that much. It doesn't bother you as much to do some of those repetitive ones if you can minimize how much manual physical stuff that you have to do. If you do get somebody out there or yourself and you experience stress or panic caused by proximities or unexpected stings, have them begin with small hive management tasks. Pull off the inner cover and let you do the hive. Wear extra gear, use calming breathing techniques while working. If they feel discomfort in unpredictable situations, establish as much as you can a structured approach, work in familiar settings, and have a designated exit strategy at the beginning so that they know exactly what to do in case something goes wrong. Difficulty concentrating on hive management tasks. Utilize written checklists, follow beekeeping guides, and work with a mentor for additional support. This is just another chart that you guys can look at, and then kind of goes through the hive type, how much lifting is required from that hive type, the ease of being able to harvest honey, what accessibility features it has, and what it is best for. So when they send this talk out, you guys can spend some time to go through this and be a little more detailed um, than I'm going through this chart right now. Mobility around apiary and overwintering. This is another chart that kind of talks about each hive types, how easy it is to move it around around your apiary, how well it overwinters, and then key considerations for when you could use it, what areas you use it, because the beekeeper in Florida might not be utilizing the same type of hive that somebody in Indiana would use. This I forgot to take this off, but if you don't mind, I do have part of the grant as an evaluation. Um, and if I could just email them out to the Florida Agribility, if you have time to answer some questions, that'd be great. If not, it's not expected, but it does help kind of gauge, whether the way that I'm delivering things is, actually increasing the knowledge that people have. And that's all. I really appreciate you guys being here, and if you have any questions, I would love to take some time to answer them, but I'll pass it back to Shelby because she's the boss.
Thanks, Justin. Okay, so for while we let people's questions come in, we are going to launch our final evaluation poll. And we would love your feedback. So any feedback you have, please share. We will take about 3 minutes to get this done. That means at 12:50, we will come back and do our question and answer session. So take a moment to complete this evaluation, please.
Oh, it doesn't let me respond to myself.
Oh no, it's probably because you're a co-host, Justin.
Ah,
Darn it.
like I was judging myself.
Very satisfied. That's, 10 out of 10.
Would recommend.
Would recommend myself for sure. Thank you guys. You're doing great. Looks like we are almost there. Okay. Everyone submitted the poll, so I'm going to go ahead and end it. You guys are just ahead of the game here. Great job. Thank you. Okay. All right. So I'm going to read a couple of the questions to you, Justin. I let me read a comment to you that just came in. Thank you, Justin, for this presentation. A lot of great information shared and look forward to applying this. And then one question that we have is Bee My Hive Inspector available on other devices such as iPads and tablets for those who have visual impairments?
Yes. So one of the and I couldn't demo it today, but it actually does have the live analysis feature, which it uses the camera on your phone and then analyzes it in real time. It will be for iPhones, Android phones. They will also be able to have a desktop app for Mac and Windows machines. And then the iPad OS should also have an app as well, because it uses the same code that the iPhone app does.
Great. Thank you so much. That's great because not all apps are available on desktop either, and it looks like this one would be really beneficial to have on your desktop. Okay, are there any other questions before we let Justin go? Okay. Oh, it looks like we have a comment. Thank you very much. This is excellent. I tend the apiary at Grow Hub here in Gainesville. I will check with David Baines here about adjustments we can make. That's great. Yeah, Grow Hub is a great organization.
Oh, that's awesome. I'll
Yeah.
be in Gainesville next week for the conference.
Oh, maybe you should stop by, Justin. Grow Hub is a wonderful, wonderful organization that does a lot of work with people with disabilities, and it's just something really cool to check out, especially if since they have the apiary there, you could take a peek. That was from Andy, so maybe ask for Andy if you head over there.
Okay.
Okay, I am going to drop just a couple of resources and Justin's contact information in the chat for you all. Um, please feel free to reach out if you have any questions for him. Okay, it looks like we have one more question and then we'll let you go. Do you know of any one-on-one trainings or mentoring to assist getting into accessible beekeeping?
Currently, I do not, but if you reach out to me, I do kind of mentor in the best way that I can within my busy life guidelines. So yes, you can reach out and we can work. If you're local, I might be able to come out to you. If not, we can do, Zoom chats and video calls and things like that, and get you set up the way you can be successful.
Wonderful. Well, I just want to take a moment and tell the audience thank you so much for your active participation and questions. We have dropped a few of those resources in the chat box for you. Don't forget to follow Florida Agribility on social media to receive the latest news and updates from us. You can also sign up for our newsletter and receive a quarterly newsletter. We don't spam, I promise. Justin, thank you again for sharing this very valuable insight and the resources with our audience. We're thankful for you and you're spreading awareness and continuously advocating for to make agriculture more accessible, especially in the apiary industry. Thank you all again and have a great day.
Thank you so much.